Yeah, hello. Can you hear me? Just someone confirm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Uh, so yesterday we have seen about print statement, right? So anybody gone through why flush is using in print? So what is the purpose of the flush? So anyone?
Yes, flush basically it forcefully sends the data into the memory location. Like for example, yesterday what you have said, whenever you are writing a file, unless until the complete command is executed and it is closed, the data will not be written in that particular file. But once when you use flush,
Mhm.
it instead of doing it in the buffer memory, it directly writes in the file. So it forcefully let the data be placed in the location which is needed.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's mainly basically for writing continuous memory streams into files. Mainly it was used in deployments like server side. Generally, we don't use it in our normal Python scripts or anywhere. But if it is enterprise level or you have to get all the logs or all the buffer to into uh, the logs continuously, we have to use that flush option so that it won't stop at any, like if you have given sleep command also it won't stop. Yeah, thank you. Okay, then let me share my screen for today. Mm. So we will today see about yeah, variables and how Python was working, like how the Python works in background. So yesterday we have written a print, right? So how that exactly, like one statement got executed and how it went back, how our system got converted and give us the output, that we will see. Um, so if you see here, this is the detailed process. Like when we write that one statement, it was actually goes through different steps. First, the Python interpreter, which converts it into bytecode. The Python interpreter is nothing but whatever we installed in the exe file, maybe miniconda, python.exe or anaconda.exe. By default, the Python will install this Python interpreter. So the Python interpreter is combination of compiler, virtual machine, Python virtual machine, uh, and yeah, it's a combination of both, like a compiler and uh, virtual machines. So normally, what usually says Python is an interpreted language, but it's not actually interpreted. Everything is compiled under the interpretation. Interpretation is nothing but it reads line by line, the code line by line. But in the backend process, what it actually does the compilation as well. So if you take about Java, the compilation steps of it is a compiled language. So there will be a Java C compiler. Similarly, we will have here Python PyC compiler. We will show you that. So once it is whatever we we have written in a plain English language, which is the syntax of Python. So it actually converted to bytecode, and then the bytecode is actually converted to the binary code. So actually, what it says, it actually the PVM, the virtual machine which interacts with the operating system. So this is the main what I meant to say. This Python virtual machine interacts with the operating system, whatever you are using, maybe Windows, Linux, or Mac, whatever it actually interacts with the meant to say whatever command you have given, it will, like, if you print, it will interact with the input output devices, like our display screen. The screen is the output device, right? So yesterday I have written on into file stream, like some new.txt I have created and written 1 2 3, right? So everything actually what it does, this will be Python virtual machine will interact with the operating system's resources and does the tasks whatever we given in the programming. So the same, it's the actually what we can say, it is the uh, connection bridge between the operating system and interpreter and our this thing, like our code, I meant to say. So once the Python virtual machine returns the execution to the interpreter, interpreter will give us the output to the user what we are seeing, like yesterday print hello, right? So that is the output we are seeing. To get that everything, so this much process is involved in the background. So if you see here, the technical comparison or graphical representation, so we have written a code in the code editor or online. So normally the Python files or source files will be with the .py extension. For Java it will be .java extension. Whatever code you have written, it in the Java, if you save the if you want to save the file, it should be end with .py. For Java it should be .java. So why I have taken comparison, because it's very easy to understand. So here in Java there won't be any interpreter. So here we have only compiler. But in Python the interpreter will do all the three steps. So the compilation to bytecode, like Java C will compile the Java code. Sorry. Similarly, we have if you have installed Java, there will be JRE and JVM also will be installed. Uh, if you done the installation on our machine or somewhere else, so it's actually different altogether. You can actually change the Java runtime environments or JVMs in Java, but in Python, it's everything is compiled into one only Python interpreter. So we don't need to care about which version is using, which virtual machine it is using. Nothing. There is no need to worry about that. But in Java, we might see some of the issues with JRE sometimes. Sometimes we might see issues with JVMs. So the virtual machines, what actually do, it actually already written libraries or modules. It will actually fetch it from already standard like open source libraries what we install. The standard libraries will be installed, right? So that at this level, all the libraries will be fetched, and then so after all this bytecode, the bytecode will be converted into machine code, because the finally it's ones and zeros, right? So whatever you write the programming, all that will be converted to binary, because the microcontrollers and microprocessors will understand only ones and zeros, not anything else. So it will return to binary, and that will be the your processor, like whatever you are using, your computer processors will use and return as the output in the binary format only, and that again comes back to virtual machines, and it will actually convert it back to the output by given to the interpreter by virtual machine to see the output, and then it will display it back to our whatever the screen we are using, like here if you want to write into a file, you will write it into a file, but if you want to display it on a console, it will display it on console. So any questions here, like, or should I go forward? So this is basic understanding of whatever it's just for Python and Java I have kept, but whatever the language or whatever the software programming you are doing, a basic basic flow will be something like this only. Like there will be some compiler or our virtual machine which does all the background work to convert it into binary code, and that binary code will be again converted back to our required type of display or language, and it will be displayed on the our desired output. So you can see more resources or more. If you ask Bing or Chat, it will give you more. Bing or Bart. Yeah. So now comes back. So once it is done, if everyone of you are clear with this, I will go to the Python versions. So before until 2020, actually there used to be two versions running for Python. It's like Python 2 and Python 3. But in 2020, what happened? They actually stopped the support. So in our projects, what we used to generally do is we used to write two versions of Python programs. One for Python 2 to execute on servers, one for Python 3 to execute on the latest servers or in our local. So normally, generally in banks or in some product-based companies, they use very old Linux servers or where the installations will be still on Python 2, like Python 2.7. We need to use the Python versions. So it will have different types of usages, but Python 3 is more advanced, and it was now there is no Python 2. It actually have stopped that the community is not supporting Python 2 anymore. So whatever we will be learning, it will be everything in Python 3 only. So what are the basic differences is like some Unicode supports like in Python 2. So if you given like yesterday we have written hello world, right? It's actually ASCII format, like only it allows alphanumeric characters, but in Python 3 you can give some garbage, like if you give I meant to say tilde or something. Python 2 does not allow that, but Python 3 will allow that garbage symbols or everything. It's actually by default Unicode. So what actually differing is, I am just saying the Python 2 in it's a print function. In Python 3 the print is a function, but in Python 2 it's actually a statement. Uh, so what exactly it means, so we will see. Like in Python 2, if you use the division operator like 9 by 2, it actually returns 4 as an output. But in Python 3, if you do the 9 by 2 operation, it will actually return you the 4.5 total float value will it will be written. So again, exception handlings will be different again, but it's in the same format, but the notations will be just different. And in Python 2 has limitations like global variables can be modified for a loop, but Python 3 we can't modify. So whatever developed in Python 3 is everything is advanced and very secured. So that's why they have stopped Python 3 support. But until 2020, they used to release both Python 3 version and Python 2 version. So if I see here the code examples, so if I just okay, I will just to say. So this is a tutorials point Python 2 compiler what I have just taken. So if you see here the Python print statement, there is no parenthesis. So he is adding by default new line. So I just want to run it, execute. So here it will giving a hello world. But sometimes if you use Python 3 notation actually it should give is error, but online compilers won't give error as far as I know. Yeah. So generally the syntax will be for Python 2 it will be without any parentheses. So if I written the same thing in Python 3, it will throw me error. So if you see, and if I actually give some not sure garbage value tilde, it will accept. Yeah, it's accepting, but mhm. Okay. So this is like the Unicode characters, whatever here it is there, right? I'm talking about that. Someone is waiting. So whatever this Unicode characters are there, I'm not sure how we can type it, but yeah, normal Python 2 doesn't allow this. But so if you want to allow that to be printed, you have to use U at the starting, like so it will convert actually to the string whatever given, it will convert to Unicode character. So yeah, and here let me come back to print 9 by 2. So what it gives, it will give only 4. But if I go to the same statement and print it in Python 3, it will give me 4.5. So it is actually dividing and it is giving us the result in floating values. This is actually standard across all the, I meant to say Java, C, everything. Yeah. And for a range like, so this is another example. As of now, we haven't come into loops, but just uh, so for I in range of X range, this is the actually function. Like I meant to say, default system function. So we will be printing all the values starting from 0 to 9 from here. So here, why I have given space is like in Python, indentation is a must. Like if we used to have semicolons, right, in Java normally. Here we don't use any semicolons or anything here. So if I run this, it will print 0 to 9. So the index will be starting from 0 to 9. So but if I use the same command in Python 3, so there is no function. So actually they have decommissioned this X range. Okay. So let me run again. So here it is giving me 0 to will me off. Yeah. So this is a normal basic differences, but it's like before, as we mentioned on the chart as well, there used to be Jython, which is actually uses supports only Python 2.7 syntaxes. I meant to say if you are using Jython, it supports only Python 2.7 syntaxes, but still they are in development phase. Maybe for Python 3 the Jython will come, but not sure uh, when it will be. It's still in development phase only as of now. So you can do more research on Python 2, Python 3, why exactly both. Also why it got decommissioned. So you can ask AI tools. So any questions here before going to the next topic? Like we will be going to source code of Python. So, uh, uh, yeah. So you guys able to hear me, right? Just
Yes, sir.
yeah. Okay. Yep. Thank you. So the next topic will be the source code. So the source code of Python is like all the Python, the standard libraries, whatever we are using, the standard Python, whatever install, it actually is CPython. So what it means is all the standard libraries are written in C language. So internally, the Python, what it uses, actually it uses C language. So if this is the actual GitHub open source, where you can see all the open source code. So you can download to your local and you can change it whatever you like if you have interest. And yeah, so if you see this is the Python latest version like that 13.3.13 alpha 1. So it is not I meant to say enterprise edition or the stable edition. It is like development phase. So it is actually I think maybe when it got updated, maybe I see yesterday or day before yesterday actually it was updated. So generally we will see, right? So how the Python is implemented. So if the print statement is working, some code should be internally done, right? So there should be some code which actually uses all the statements. So whatever we are writing, uh, there should be something something to say to the compiler. So okay, they are using this function, but how to implement that function? We need to say. So this is sorry, maybe I be having all this. Not sure. Okay. Yeah. So so from here, actually this starts like if you see the arguments for Python like separator and file and flush are the arguments what we have seen yesterday in print function. And these are the normal objects where we are passing. So if from here the function will be there for print, but this built-in module like it's having multiple like I meant to say. I will So if you see, so if you are aware about C or already used somewhere, C in previous while studying or while studying our graduation, you see hash include std.io.h, right? We used to use to print statements in C. Similarly, the same syntax, if you see here, the hash include. So, why I am saying is like what the flavors we are talked about yesterday, right? So that is actually the built-in implementations of the how the system functions, how they are implemented. So generally, the Python built-in functions are maximum of them are written in C. So this is the source code where if it is a dot C, everything is written in C. So if you take Jython, right, actually all this will be implemented in Java. So that's the main difference where we see the flavors. So if we take Iron Python, it will be in C sharp. So but generally those generally we don't use until unless it's a very uh, new requirement or we cannot uh, convert previous Java code and we have to use the Python code, then only we will go for Jython or some Iron Python like C sharp code uh, to that. But generally we don't use the other flavors of Python. So this is the main flavor of Python, which we call it as normal Python, but it's actually implementation of C language. So you can go through this. There are multiple. As of now, I am saying it's 3.8, right? So if I go to again, it is main. So if I want any branches, so which so someone has modified again some. So even you can actually update this. You can contribute as well if you are more in programming and if you are very well versed, you can contribute to Python. So yeah. Uh, yeah. Any questions here? So going forward, it's actually the C implementations we have seen, right? So, but if you want to check going forward, we will see there is a inspect the module where you can see if already defined functions where the code will be to get the source command. We will see that in future sessions. But that doesn't work for the standard libraries which are written in C. But if those are written in Python itself, uh, it will show us the guide like where to see the source code of that function or method in that. Uh, so any questions regarding this? Like, hello. Uh, yeah, can I go ahead?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So we will come into the main topic today, like variables. So whatever we define in any programming language, uh, we need something to address, like to store the data, right? Uh, so whatever your name should be stored in somewhere. So in Python, we actually refer to that as symbolic names uh, called as variables. So normally in C or in Java, we have to declare uh, the data type first. Like if we are going to use the int data type, we have to declare it as int, and C sharp also in C also you have to declare as int or string. So in Python, you don't need to declare anything. That's why it is called as dynamic language. Those are called as statically typed. It is actual dynamically typed language. So just you need to assign, if just I'm going back to this program is, so equal to, so I'm giving my name. So if I run it, so there is nothing, just, so I am not printing it. It's just I have given my name and I with the like in quotes, but I am not doing anything to get a output on the console, right? So if I give print name, so here I am getting my name to be displayed. So here my, if I give my age 30, so what I have given, see, I am given in string again. I am not given any number. See, so but it is displaying. So but how we differentiate this actually? Like, so if we are given int string, so what is this data type? We want to check, right? So what we will do, there is a another function called type. So what gives is what is the type, like what data type it was assigned. So if I run again, so it is a string. So just if I remove this double quotes, like quotes, and I am giving this and run. So it actually changed it to int. So Python by dynamically assigns uh, the data types to the variables defined. So if I give some point 0.05, now again it changes to float. So you don't need to take care of any data types in Python. So that's like, uh, so it you can modify like any data type, like any data you can pass it, but you should be careful if you are doing some concatenations. Uh, so do, if I say, right, let me show you example. So I am doing name plus age. So I'm just concatenating these two. So do you think it what it gives? It will give us error. So if we see, we can't. It's saying the string cannot concatenate float data type. So it actually failed here. So again, it's interpretation language, right? What I am saying. So it is actually do the sequential executions. So if it is failed here, it won't go to the next. What is the type of age? So now again, if I give the same thing, so I am converting it again to string. So now it's actually concatenated because both are the same data types. Uh, so this is one way to concatenate, but there is another way. Uh, Generally, so there is, This is a hard-coded way. Like this is another function we call it as where we want to convert whatever the variable to string, whatever the value is there to string. So if I okay, so sometimes the hash type also don't work on this thing. Yeah, generally we actually convert force type string. Yeah, there is a stripe. Yeah, you can let me check again. I will ask directly Bard here. How to convert float data type to string in Python using as type. So let me see. Okay, I have given maybe okay. Okay, instead of okay, I got. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying. Okay, but here it's not. If I take the same code and paste it and run, sometimes this will again. I will try to run here. Yeah. So it's not converting the code the AI has given is not working. Yeah. So generally the hash type will work on like only on data frames. It is a very I meant to say uh, the future concept. Yeah, we will see that, but we generally don't use hash types. But if you want to convert to, I think yeah, this is the method. Yeah. So what I am doing again, this is actually string method. Okay, S type is actually implementation of pandas. Uh, so that we will see in later classes. So instead of age equal to string, so if I want to convert into int as well, like, so I am what I am doing, I am forecasting. So this will become 30 if you see. Not sure why it's so long time. Yeah, okay, actually this is failing at this step, but if you see here it's 30. So online editors sometimes, so again if I run, actually it is giving me error. So it's like type error, it's concatenate, okay. So if I run again, so it actually converted to int. It's so it's like whatever way we want, we can convert into our required data type, but we need to be very careful before converting uh, whatever we are using it. So if I again, if I like, even you can give in print statement as well, like if it is like print int of age, here I will just print age. So it is taking the default type. So again, if I now what I will do, I will actually delete name. So it is saying name is not defined, but I have defined already name here. But actually, after this line, int line, actually I deleted the name. So the program is unable to detect my variable. So where it is defined. So it actually stopped the execution here itself, and it didn't went to this up to this 11th line. So similarly, yeah. Any questions regarding this? So it's actually directly by using assignment operator, you can actually define variables in Python. There is no need to declare like explicitly the int, the data types. So Python will take care of all that. So you need to concentrate on how we have to give the variables and how we need to do the operations on that. So we can check more on variables using Bard and Bing Chat. Uh, yeah, we will providing you all this deck in the group. Uh, yeah, any questions?
What about the date functions or how to print?
So date, yeah, that we will see. Like we have to import date time. Maybe tomorrow in operators, I will let you know how to print dates and how to use the date time.
Okay, Satyam.
So as of now, it's a simple variables, but datetime is like the operation concepts. Yeah, we'll get back on that tomorrow. Yeah.
Do we have anything called constants here? Because suppose if you take a variable, assign a value, you can reassign it.
Mhm.
But if you want a value which is constant and which you don't want to change, like I mean, I'm trying to just compare TypeScript or JavaScript.
Okay.
There you have constant, some value, wherein when you try to reassign some value, it will not take. Whereas when you define it with let, it will allow you. Do we have anything such kind here in Python?
We have actually tuples where you can define it at in like, so we can't change that if we like it's something kind of list I can say. Just maybe the data types also we will see tomorrow more. So I will take I. So here I want to change name to some, just I want, I'm just again running. Okay, sorry, I have deleted it. Sorry.
Delete.
Wait. Okay. So if we given only one command, right, it actually don't uh, allow. Like it will take it as a string, but generally, if you define in this way, you can't actually modify any value in this. Uh, I meant to say in this type of list, and you can access via dot zero. Like I meant to say, if I, sorry. So this is actually remains as constants, and we can't access until unless you convert it into a list type.
Okay.
So we need to explicitly convert into a list, and then you have to modify that object like in the location where it is. Which one you want to modify, then you can modify. But if you are trying to append or do that, it won't allow to do that. Yeah, maybe tomorrow we will be discussing more on this Python data types and operators. Then we will again go through this.
Okay. And I also have one more question.
Yeah.
Uh, we don't need to specifically mention the type.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not mandatory needed.
Yes.
Suppose there is a value called 2 and there is a value 2 which is a string.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, if ever whenever I'm writing a code, if I wanted to compare that string and the number, The types are not mentioned, how it would, I mean, it will that take to and string to as same or different?
It will be different. Like if you want to compare both, you have to explicitly do the if condition by using the type function. What variable it is. If it is only int, then you can do the comparison like less than, greater than, or equal to. Or if you like again. So here I am like some. So what it is saying, it is actually false. So it actually comparing the like I meant to say types, like the value is same 30.5, 30.5, but this is actually string and this is age. So if you want explicitly like to compare only the types, like you have strings, uh, so then we have to get the type. If type is in string, something like that you need to write. So if I got our question correct, I think so you want to compare two different like data types, right?
Not exactly two different data types, two variables I wanted to compare,
Yeah.
wherein you have a number and string. I mean, my
Yeah.
question is clear.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So any other questions before we conclude?
Yeah, Sai Kishore. Exactly, I have one doubt. Could you please throw some clarity on what is explicit and implicit? I have seen many definitions, but didn't got solid uh, confirmation. I mean, solid answer. Didn't got any understanding.
And in which context you are asking like explicit?
Means we say that we can write explicit programming, implicit programming will heads those kind of words.
Uh, Generally, it would be in what I listened like explicit, implicit in Selenium, where we use. So if something, actually I'm unable to answer it now. Maybe tomorrow I can answer it because I have only 3 minutes to conclude the session. Uh, so maybe I will just go through and come back to your question tomorrow. Is it that fine?
Yeah, yes, Sai Kishore, no worries.
Yeah.